lovelies, happy new year. I know usually in every start of the month I do a monthly favorite, but since it's the start of a year, I figured that we might do something that's more like yearly favorites. So this is gonna be a long one. Mostly there's gonna be more than one thing in each category, just because I have a lot of favorites. There's gonna be a lot of categories. I think there's around 10 or something like that. So I will put down all the timestamps down below, and feel free to skip towards whatever is relevant for you. And if you like journaling, then feel free to follow, and I post journaling videos every week. Some of them are like stationery related ones where I talk about stationery and hauls and things like that, and some of them are like journaling videos where I take you through my journals and things like that. So if you like those kind of stuff, feel free to subscribe. Buckle up, because this is gonna be a long one. Grab a snack, grab a drink. I will just get started because we have a lot. So our first category are washi tapes. These are the three that I've been really loving last year. It's really weird saying last year because it feels very like it's still here. But anyway, these are Yohaku washi tapes, and if you've known me and you've watched last year's favorite, this was there as well, because I love them. They're very, very nice and easy to use for your collages and everything. And these two are my favorite washi tapes from all of them, because I have a ton of them. But if you don't know about them and you like doing collages, do check them out, because they have really beautiful tapes that are very easy to use. These are from Berg and Pion. So basically, I think Berg is the company that makes it, but Pion actually designs them. They're really nice. It has a very Yohaku kind of feel, but minus the grittiness and the collaginess. If you see with Yohaku, there's a lot of these like vintagey kind of feel, because they're like lots of writing and lots of little like splatters of ink and things like that. That is very vintage, whereas the Pionberg one seems to be quite clean. Like this one has a little bit of vintage throughout, but some of theirs are quite fun. Some of them have like a terrazzo print, also like some well print. So I actually really been enjoying them, and the quality is pretty good too. I mean, for the price, this isn't as expensive as other washis if I remember correctly, but the quality is still pretty good. So I would recommend this one as well. And my last favorite is this is from Mr. Eggplants, and this is like a one-off. Mr. Eggplant doesn't create a lot of washi. I think she creates more pet tapes these days. But these has been so fun to use because the whole collage kind of feel to it, and it's quite easy to use. And I always love just ripping it on the corner, because it's just, yeah, it just has that look, you know. So those are the washi tapes I've been enjoying this year. So I hope there's one or two new ones that you haven't known about. The next category is going to be quite hard for me to pick, because it's PET tapes, and I love PET tapes. So this was really hard for me to pick, but I figured I'll pick things that I've been using often and I've been loving, especially last year. So the first one that I discovered this year and have been loving like really crazy is some sort of fern. These are my three favorite ones currently. So this is the dandelion tape, very nice. This one is the glimpse of shadow tape, very nice if you like muted and black and white kind of tapes. And then this one is travel something, I can't remember the name of the tape, but it's their travel around tape. So this one has a lot of images of like you know, camping trips and things like that, but the color is quite muted. Some sort of fern can be very vibrant, but also like they have some stuff that are quite muted. Like this glimpse of shadow one is amazingly like black and white for the whole thing, but also they come in PET and they come in washi. But you know how much I love PET, so I went towards PET. But also the thing that I really love about this is it has like white ink on it as well, and you know how much I love white ink on stuff. So these is like, probably if I have to pick between these three for my favorite from some sort of fun this year, it would be the Glimpse of Shadow one, because it's just so easy to use, so muted, and it has like white stuff. This one has white as well, which is why it is high in my list of some sort of fun. So basically I've discovered some sort of fun just this year, but they've been my favorite throughout this year. So there you go, that's that. And another one that I've been loving this year is another brand that I just discovered called Benchu. I got this from Paper Game. I think this is the botanical, and this one is the specimen tape, I think. But I really love tapes that has a ton of details and a ton of things to play around. The loop of these are quite long, so you get different kinds of little snippets of things that you can use in your spread. So it's been really I've been really loving using these. I know I usually don't show samples because it just takes too long. I told myself not to show samples today, but I reckon this one you need to actually see it in a spread to see. So some of these are actually from this tape. It's just like very nice little like snippets of things. So these are from this one as well, and then this is from the Travel Around tape. Some of these are actually from this tape as well. So I got this tape earlier during the year, and this one in the middle of the year. So this one only gets used like on the second half of the year, but I've been really liking them, and you'll see that it'll come up. This one is the some sort of fern dandelion tape, which I love as well. And those are from here as well. So I've been using it quite a lot actually. That is the Glimpse of Shadow pet tape from some sort of fern as well. And yeah, it's just like I've just been using it a ton. So been really loving them. It's just sad that it's not very readily available. The only place I've seen these on is Paper Game actually. So if you're US based, then you are lucky because Paper Game is in the US. So those two are the new ones that I've been loving this year, but there's also some older ones that I've had since the year before. These two brands are the ones that I've discovered this year and have been loving, but there's also some brands that I've already knew from the year before, but I still really love them very much. And they are Freckles Tea. I think if you watch a lot of my videos, you know how often I use these tapes because I just really love them. These two are my favorite ones. This is the strawberry and something. Strawberry and I can't remember what. And then I can't remember the name of this as well. But anyway, they're from Freckles Tea and they're just amazing. I feel like this is probably one of the most tightly like grouped PET tapes I've seen. Like there's no white space and everything is just next to each other. It's a little bit harder and maybe more daunting to fussy cut, but it just makes such nice spreads. Like I don't think you can just see it and imagine. So I will show you some very quickly if I can. These are from Freckles Tea as well, most of these, but it's not the ones that I'm showing you right now. Some of these are from Freckles Tea as well, like those. I like to like mix and match as well because it's just funner that way for me to mix and match. But also these three are from this tape. I use it probably every month, to be honest, because I just love them that much. These are from Freckles Tea as well. And then can I find more, or do you guys get the point already? These are from Freckles Tea as well. It's a different roll though. This is the green roll. This is Freckles Tea as well. and they always just look so amazing on spread. So yeah, I've been really loving that, and I don't think the love is going to go away anytime soon, to be honest. I will continue to love Freckles Tea for a long while to come into the future, because they're just like, it's hard to beat. The illustration is just so pretty. And another brand that I've been really loving is Peon. I think you know this, like my favorite girl tapes are from Peon. So these two are my current favorite. This one is a little bit of an older release. I can't remember what the name is, but they're really nice and neutral. I really love them. The other roll is something newly released, and it has a lot more dynamic girls, because it has like one of these like longer ones, I mean bigger ones, wider ones, I guess. So, and there's this one with the bike, and then this one they're sitting down, so there's more dynamic poses, and I really love it. Thing with Peon tapes are they are very neutral and easy to use. I really love that aesthetic, that the whole neutral aesthetic. So Peon has a lot of my love. So those are the 4 brands of PET tapes that I love. So hopefully there's something in that for you, because I feel like they're quite different, each of them. So yes, so I hope you love them as much as I do love them a lot. So the next category I'm going to show you are rubber stamps. You already know of this brand because I've talked about them in depth last time as well, if you watch my 2021 favorites. But this is from J&L, and they produce some of the most delicate looking stamps, which I really love. So this is part of the In the Wild 2, and this is In the Wild 1. I think it comes with a set of stamps, and I've been really loving them since I got them like ages ago. Like whenever I don't know what to use, I usually reach for these because I really love florals, right? And then I have been using this one quite a lot as well, which is part of their Slow Living collection, which has other things that are like you can see in your home. So diffuser, champagne glasses, these and that, like candles and things like that. So I've been really loving using those as well. So those are in my favorites list, but also in my favorites list are Kurokinki stamps, which are, and the ones that I've been really loving these days are these AMB blind set. They're just like snippets of little collagey little things, so they're really easy to use, and I just really love using them. So yeah, if you like tiny stamps, look no further and just find Kurokinki stamp basically. Another favorite currently is Pens, Papers, Planners, and I've only got 2 of her stamps, and they're very nice, and they always stamp really nicely. What I also really like is that the edges has been cut really close, so it doesn't have the edges, so I really like that as well. And I'm definitely looking forward to get more of her stamps in the future, because these are very nice to use, always really crisp. I just really love them. So that's all. That's the 3 brands for my favorite stamps this year. So when you talk about rubber stamps, you of course need to talk about the ink pads, right? And I don't think it's gonna be a surprise, but my favorite this year is the Sachiara Iromoyo ink pads. So the ones that I used quite a ton are these 2, but these 3 get some use as well. I've also have some that is on the way to me as well. They also recently come up with a tiny little version that is this cute and tiny. Like, look at that. If I put it beside all the other ones, they're so tiny and cute. So if you just want to try them, you should try maybe the smaller one if you can, but also I recommend the big ones anyway, especially for this color. And the thing that's really great about them is that they stamp amazing details. So if you have stamps that has a lot of details, like most of my J&L stamps, these will just like be the crispest thing. you can get kind of thing basically. Because I know people uses a lot of the hang on, let me take, oh, I know a lot of people uses a lot of the Versa Magic stuff, but I find that the Versa Magic is, because it's quite wet, it's very clumpy on some of my really delicate stamps. So that's why I really love the Sachiara, because it's not clumpy, but it's really nice on it just has really nice details. The only thing about them are they are not the best in vellum, and it'll, depending on which color, sometimes it will just sink into the paper. So just use these mostly on your like normal papers and not vellum. And another thing that I really love about these ink pads are the fact that you can get refills. I feel like that's not really often that ink pads lets you get refills from the ones that I know anyway. I know the ones that you get from like the stationery store sometimes have refills, but for like mostly journaling ink pads, I don't always find ones that does refills. So this is really nice because it does take refills. This one, and the refill is really easy to use, so I love it. I have refills for this one, and it has been refilled, even though it's looking dry again now because I use it a ton. So I'm gonna have to like re-ink that one. But I really really love these ink pads, and I have stopped buying other ink pads just because I'm really happy with this. So hopefully you, if you're a beginner to stamping, try this anyway because it's amazing. For labels and paper goods, this year I have two different things that I've been really loving. One of them is the letterpress, which has been on my list the year before as well because I love them that much. This one, which is like the little labels, are what I love the most. And these you can actually, it's perforated, so you can tear it off on the sides. Let me show you in my little bundle because it's easier. Do I have any of them in here? Yep. So these are those ones, and they are perforated, so you can easily just tear off, like, you know, a section if you want. This is really easy to use. This one I've been really liking as well because I love anything that has florals on them. So the Mia illustration ones has been my favorite as well this year. It comes in 4 different types of paper, which I really love, that it gives you different kinds, but they have a few different notepads, but this one is actually my favorite because it has, like, you know, perforated, and the design is like the nicest one out of everything because it's quite light. Like the rest of it feels a little bit more, has a little bit more design around them. Like you can see that there's a little, like, that's pretty dark and that's a lot of like design, whereas this one is very subtle, and I just really love them. So that's another letterpress notepad thing that I love as well. But also on the paper front, I've been really enjoying these Comiteria paper pads. So they come in different kind of colors. So if you like pastel colors, there's some. If you're a blue person, there's a blue pack. But this one is the craft pack, like the brown craft paper kind of thing, and it's really nice. It has like the texture. I just really like touching this sometimes because the texture is really nice. Comes in like a few different textures, and each of them so I think there's 10 different textures, and you get 10 each. So it's pretty like nice to have that many different kinds of paper. They also have one that is vellum based. So these are all vellum. I don't know if you can see it properly, but each of them has different kind of texture on them. This one looks like it's like I don't know, there's like very subtle little, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like very subtle little textures on that one. And then they also have this one that is a little bit thicker and has more textures. And what is this one? Basically it's just different kind of textures, and I feel like this is so useful to use when you're journaling. This one has little dots and lines. And yeah, have I shown you the first one? The first one is, I think, the normal one, but this pad is really nice. I really like this pad as well. So if you're looking for paper pads, the Camitier one is one of my favorites. So that's for like paper goods and labels. And then now we're gonna go to my favorite journal this year. Journal slash planner slash book kind of thing. So I don't think this is a surprise, but my favorite this year is the Thinking of You book from Mr. Eggplants. Something about the layout for me is very conducive for like creative things, because it's very simple, right? It's just lines, and it doesn't have a lot of grid lines or things like that, so it's really simple. But also something about the vertical makes me like very creative for it. I don't know why, and I don't know if this is for everyone, because I know some people have been complaining that the thing with this planner, it has when the week starts, and if the week is like half of the week, it only has the date for those the days that are on that week. And then the dividing is a bit weird sometimes, like with these, right? There's 4 days, but instead of dividing them into like 4 equal portion, they divide it like this. It's a little bit weird that way. And then sometimes you get very this one actually, okay, let me try to find one for you. So this whole spread only have 1 day on it, the rest are just my collage stuff. But so there's a lot of pages in this that are quite empty. So if you do like collaging on empty pages, you like it. But it might be a turn off, because I know some people don't like that aspects of it, but I actually like it because it lets me do more collagey stuff in this journal, and I've been really liking it. I have been very consistent in this journal, and somehow all the spreads I've been really liking a lot. Like the ones in the beginning I didn't like as much as the ones like later down the track. But you can see how much I ended up writing, because the more you get to the back, the fuller it is. I want to do a full flip through of this journal, because it's not finished yet, and I will do a complete flip through when I'm done with it. But I've been really consistent, and all the spreads has been really nice. But there's a lot of extra pages as well. There's a lot of these writing practices that some people don't really like, but I actually like it to swatch my ink. And that's the way I swatch my ink when I get more inks, even though some of them are empty, because I only started buying inks the later half of the year, so it's not all filled yet. But I've been really liking this, and I feel like I've been really creative in this journal, so it's staying for next year as well. So stay tuned for more of these kinds of spreads, I guess, in the channel here. That's a journal I've been really enjoying. And if you're looking for something new to add to your lineup, consider this, because I've been really liking this one. So there you go, that's my favorite journal. So also this year I've been quite into the whole fountain pen thing. I've only discovered how nice it is to write on a fountain pen. So there's a few favorites this year, but please note that I am still like fountain pen newbie. Therefore the fountain pen I'm getting are mostly the cheaper end ones, right? So none of the $300 sailors are here, because frankly speaking, I'm not like 100% sure about them just yet. Like, I need to feel them in my hands and things like that. But in Australia, it's really hard to get. Like, with all these ones that I've gotten it 100% in the internet. So I've never tried it in person before I got it. And I don't think I'll buy like a $300 sailor before like trying it out myself. So these are pattern pens that are more affordable, which means if you're a beginner just like me, these are really good starting fountain pens anyway, from what I think. So anyway, I will go I will take you guys through it, right? First favorite is the Twisbies, because I really love being able to look at the ink, because it has a really big ink reservoir, and then so it doesn't run out easily, right? And it just looks really pretty. Look at that. Look how nice that looks, basically. So I have an EF and I have an F. I find the F1 is so much smoother than the EF, but like thickness wise I like the EF, but it's not very scratchy, so even the EF is still like an enjoyable writing experience. So I love them both. And another thing that I've been really loving is the Pilot Kakuno. This is probably one of the cheaper fountain pens, but the F writes so smoothly that I'm like, whoa, is this really a $20 pen kind of thing? Because it's really nice. I have the EF and the F. So these ones, the clear one is the EF, and the pink one is the F. If you can see properly. But basically the EF feels a little bit scratchy for me, so in the future if I ever got another one, because they have some really cute like limited edition ones that I'm eyeing, basically I'll get the F, because the F is so much smoother, but it's still quite thin, so it's quite nice to use. So if you guys want swatches for this or things like that, let me know, but I won't do it here. But just ask me in Instagram, I can send you pictures if you need. This one is also like a little bit of a random buy. I saw it in someone's Instagram post, but and I decided to try it, but I ended up really loving it because it's just really nice and really smooth as well. It's an EF, but it's really smooth. This one is the Hongdian Black Forest. You know what, actually maybe I'll write them up for you just really quickly. So I will write them for you really quickly, just so that you can see the difference in each of them. Sorry, but the Twisbico EF, I added some water to it because I like very pastel kind of ink, but I think I added too much water, so it's a bit like weird about it. So these are the differences between them. Obviously, the Pilot Kakuno F is the smoothest, but if you look at it, the EF on the Pilot Kakuno is so much thinner than the Twisby or the Hongdian. So if you like amazingly thin pens, this one's for you, but it's a little bit scratchy. Just have to warn you because it's thin. It's a little bit more scratchy than the others, but out of these, for me, the smoothest is the Kakuno F. It's really amazing and smooth. So hopefully if you're deciding to pick up any fountain pens, like if you're a beginner, then you consider those three options, because for me these are like the best ones that I've tried this year. So yeah. So next category is normal pens, as in like pens you write on, like gel pens ish kind of thing. I usually do gels. I don't really do like biros and stuff, but my favorite ones this year are the Muji ones. You know, this is my ride or die, this too, right? So I like the 0.38. For the thickness, I like the 0.38, but the fun colors seems to only come on 0.5, and I use the gray one and the brown one a lot. So if you want me to do a swatch, I will do that. But also something I've been really liking is the Unibo ones. So these are really fun to use as well, and it comes in the nicest colors. They always have some kind of like limited edition pack that have like nice pastel colors and things like that. I'm really appreciative of that. 0.38, which is like my favorite size. Also, another one that I've been really liking this year as well is the Sarasa pens. The Sarasa Vintage Zebra Sarasa one. So those one has been really nice as well, but they're a little bit more thicker because these are 0.5. So those are the ones I've been enjoying this year. Yeah, I don't think they need more introduction because like these are just normal pens. You just need to write with them, kind of thing. The next one that I have on the list are brush pens. So these are the three that I've been enjoying last year. So the first one is the Sailor Shikiori, which comes in really lovely colors, muted ones as well. So if you want like really nice like unconventional color that are not like those bright ones that every brand seems to have, the Sailor Shikiori is really good. Also, I really like the thickness of the brush pen because when you write it, it's not too thick. So compared to Tombow, this one's a little bit more thin. But also I really love the end bits of it as well, because it's like very soft. Well, not soft, but it's like when you write it, it feels really smooth because it's not a hard, like a super hard tip. I don't know if you can see it, but I've been really liking it. Comes in really nice colors as well, and I love using these for my thinking of you as well. If you have seen some of these, like these are from Shikiori, both of them, which means like I can do both like thick and thin, which a look that I've been really liking. So these are as well. Oh no, actually that one's from something else. So these is Shikiori as well. But speaking of the other one, something I've been really enjoying as well is the marcsmellow plume. These are very affordable. It almost looks like a Tombow knockoff, to be honest, but thickness of the brush part is so much thinner than Tombow, and it's amazing. So let me show you. So that's marcsmellow plume, and it comes in like so many colors, and it's more affordable than the Tombow. So I've been really liking this one because sometimes the Tombow are really thick, but these two are really nice and thin. Also on my favorites, you already know I love this. This is the Pentel Fooded Touch. Comes in really cute colors as well, but only one side basically for this one. But for hand lettering, I really recommend this one. It's really easy to use for beginners, and this is quite a new love as well. This is the Unipin Fine Line, and it's on the brush tip. Really like this one because it's really nice to write with. Like the downstroke and upstroke is really natural for you to write. But the only thing about this, it tends to bleed quite a lot. So if you're using, I think even in TRP, it might bleed. I'm not sure, but if you do get this, please test it on your paper before using it, just in case it ruins the spreads before it, because it tends to be a little bit more, like, you know, it tends to go through the page quite a bit. Unipin brush. I don't know if I show you the back of this, if you can see, but anyway, like it goes through a little bit like the Shikiori and the Unipin, but I think it's because the rest has like very light colors. So those four are my favorite brush pen for 2022. So if you are wanting to pick up any brush pens to practice your lettering, these ones are the ones I recommend. So yeah. So next one is the tools. Don't worry, it's not everything in here that I'm going to talk about, but I will be creating a video of what's in my gelato peak, just because I feel like there's a lot of people asking me like, how do you store this, how do you store that kind of thing, and I always really like talking about storage and organization. I don't know if you know, but yeah, so that will be coming, but this is not that video. But this is more about like general tools and organization kind of section. I just put it all in one because I'm just like, you know, I don't know how to call it. But anyway, the first thing that I've been really loving for this year is my gelato peak tote. So This is what it looks like. This is an addition, like I just add them randomly, but it comes with this caddy, nothing inside except this hang on, except this really cute little pouch. So this comes on with the caddy. Everything else I've been adding, so I will just go through some of my favorite things that I use when I'm journaling. So now that I've talked about the gelato peak, I will move it off to the side, but I have a video about me opening it and setting it up, so if you're interested in that, that's on the channel as well. But some of the things I've been really loving this year is, you already know this, I talked about this a lot, I talked about this last year as well, but this is my ride or die glue tape that I've been loving, because they are easy to use and it doesn't, like, you can actually reverse engineer this. This is really weird, but if you watch a lot of my videos, you know I paste stuff and then take it out and then put it somewhere else and then paste it again, kind of like I do a lot of that because I change my mind a lot basically. But this is really good because once you put in like the glue, if you don't decide that, oh actually I don't want it there anymore, right? All you have to do is just like rub it with your hand and it becomes this little glue parts, and then it just disappears and then your paper's good as new. So it almost feels like magic that you can control, you can undo. So it's been really good and I've been really enjoying that. So if you're not using any glue tape yet, I'd recommend this one, and you can also refill it, which is very nice because, you know, good for the environment that you can do, like you can just get the refill instead of getting the whole thing. And it also comes in another, where's the other one? It also comes in this kind of packaging. This one is a bit more expensive because it's a little bit less, because if you see this is like not only that the tape is smaller, but also it's double, like half the size of this one. So I recommend this one over this. But if you're going, if you're journaling outside or if you're using any vellum, this one is better because the dots are much thinner than this one, so it won't show that much. So if you're using transparencies or vellum and don't want it to look like you're using these because it's transparent, obviously these one are better. But both of them uses the same technology, so both of them you can kind of like rub off the paper. So I've been really loving these ones. Another one that I've been really loving is the Kokuyo Success Scissors. So I have two, just because this one I made a mistake. This makes me really sad. I made a mistake of cutting something other than paper using this, so it's not the most it's not as sharp as it used to be. Completely 100% my fault. So I got another one because I just love it that much. This one is I think titanium coated, titanium coated, this one, and this one is the normal one. But they have if you see this section, I don't know if is it easier to show it on which one, but you know how there's like a little bit of a lip on these. I think the silver is easier to show. You see how there's a lip on these, right? It's so that it doesn't, if you're using tapes, it doesn't stick to everything. But as you see, it's still a little bit more, what do you call it, sticky a little bit. So what I usually do with these, I get a Q-tip and put some eucalyptus oil on it, and then if you rub it on here and then you wipe it off with a tissue, it will be like less sticky and it'll get rid of the stickiness. So that's how I get rid of my stickiness. So this is, I really like this. It's really easy to use and it cuts through paper like butter, and I really love it. So yeah, it's a little bit pricey for scissors, I have to say, but if you use your scissors a lot, you know what, you deserve nice ones, right? Okay, so that's my favorite one from last year, from the year before as well. But you know, I like when discovering things I already love, but I feel like I have to share that with people because I just really love them. So hopefully you don't mind that it's not a new thing, but it's something that I've been using for 2+ years and I still love it. So yeah, that's that. And then now let's talk about some organization stuff. So something that I've used this year for my PET tapes are storage binders. So what I do, I cut them to strips and then I use these inserts to use them. I feel like this is really nice. If you know me and you've been following me, you know I have been trialing a lot of different types of storage, but I feel like this one's a winner because, oh my god, it's just like really easy to use. And another thing that I love about it is you can categorize it. I use these dividers to divide up which one, like each category basically. So these are all my flowers, and then it's like miscellaneous stuff, and then frame stuff and things like that. And it's been really working well. And the thing is that I like is that because I divide them up with depending on the brand as well, so if I get a new one, I can just open it up and slip something in instead of having to like reshuffle everything. So for me, that really like organizing things and knowing where my tapes are, this has been very useful and I've been really liking it. And the other thing that I really like is like you can use different kinds of inserts, because like I think it's on the character side that I have a different one. So like for this one, because these are like thicker than this size, so I'm able to use two the 2 pocket instead of the 4 to use this. And then there's also pockets that only have 2. Let me see, these ones only have 2, if you can see. So there's different kinds of pockets that you can alter around. I'm also trialing and getting something for my stray PET tapes, like the little small bits and pieces. It works like kind of like a sticker books, but it's on the way. So I will let you know if that ends up being better or anything, but I will keep you posted. So probably in my Instagram. So if you haven't followed, feel free to add me into your following list. That is the PET tape storage that really works for me last year. I am still going to be trialing in new things for PET storage next year as well. You know, I always like to find the best way to storage things, but currently I'm quite happy with this. There is still a problem of like very small little pieces of my PET tapes and how I do them. So the way I do them is to actually carry around these sticker release paper from Traveler's Notebook to catch all the little bits and pieces. So if I take you to a page like this page, right, this is like bits and pieces from other PET tapes that are quite small that I don't want to lose but need some place to like put them somewhere. So that's why they're from kind of different PET tapes, but I find that this is quite good to use. You can either get if you're like me and you use Traveler's Notebook, you can cut maybe like an A5 sticker book, or I also find some people have like really thick sticker books, but for me this works because this is the Traveler's Notebook that I take outside if I need to take down notes and things like that. So that lets me kind of do little fun things on the side like that on my pages while I'm on the go. So these really works for me. Unfortunately, this sticker release paper is part of a limited edition from Traveler's Notebook, so I'm not sure if you still kind of can find them, but I also make some sticker books in my shop, but it doesn't use the sticker release paper. I use kind of like transparent paper, so if you're wanting one of those, do check the store out. And yeah, that's basically another one of those like storage things that have been really working for me. And this is the last things. I know it's been very long, but if you're still watching, thank you so much. It's from the brand King Jim, and it's a storage for all your flake stickers basically. So you can put them in these little pockets and then it closes up. You can kind of like tuck it in and it closes up. so like it doesn't go anywhere. And I've been really liking this for just some of my flake stickers, so it doesn't go anywhere. This is really nice for storage kind of thing. So I've been really liking that for storage as well. Also, another thing I've been really liking is this Muji case. I think it's actually for business card, and it's quite a little bit thick, so I can carry all my lovely washi tapes in here. I roll it off to these sample sizes, so it's easy for me to look at, because you know, if your washi tapes are in a drawer somewhere, chances are you probably won't use it as often. So this is what I do so I can use it more often, and if I ever need to bring it on the go, if I need to journal somewhere else, it's already in a very compact position to take around. So that's it. I think I've talked enough, but I hope this is useful for you, and there's some like stuff that you pick up that you might want to add to your journaling supplies or like your stationery collection. But this has been really fun for me to talk about. You know me, I love talking about stationery and just storage in general, so I hope that was enjoyable for you. Happy New Year again, and I hope you enjoy that, and take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye. Just don't ask me to pick favorites between my favorites, because it's hard enough for me just to pick a few favorites, because I have a lot. So there you go. Don't ask me to pick favorites over my favorites. Okay, cool.